The biggest challenge of being a D1 athlete definitely is just navigating your way with so many different life areas. A lot of times it's almost like working two jobs. You got to balance a heavy academic load with waking up every single morning early, getting into the locker room around 5:30, 5:45 and putting your body to the test. And then you gotta find ways to bounce back and have enough energy, have enough focus to hit the classroom and hit the books and study effectively. Navigate all of those life areas and find where they kind of intertwine and intermingle between each other. I would say that's probably difficult, just finding that balance of where you kind of fit into each category. My name is AJ Francois and I play for the University of Denver men's soccer team, and I currently play left wing and left back. It's been pretty amazing, definitely an experience I'll never forget. Just playing at a college level, it's still being given an opportunity to perform at one of the highest levels nationally. And just here at DU, we have an amazing culture, amazing, really just tight-knit family that we have in the locker room. So it's just been growth and learning every day, so can't ask for more. I think specifically with academics and athletics, it's hard. You have to be able to pivot from focusing on performing physically to your best capability to then switch like your mental side on to be able to focus just mentally on different subjects and different assignments that you have. So I'd say like the hardest thing is balancing time management, when to switch back and forth to those two mindsets, and then also when you're in those mindsets, like focusing on just performing physically, just performing academically, and being able to find things within those two domains that allow you to achieve peak performance. First heard about NuCalm through the team. We had a session with Mr. Poole. He came in and just spoke to us about some of the research behind the technology and kind of the practical use of the technology. And we actually were given an opportunity in our locker room to test it out. And after a session, when we were trying to calm down and get our heart rate down, get our focus back for class and kind of restore our body to be ready for a 4 to 6 hour class day after training, we were actually given the opportunity to use the technology to just kind of reset ourselves. And that was the first time I'd ever heard about it, and learned a lot from just that one session alone about how technology works, how I can use it in my own daily life, how I can use it to utilize my best performance. Pretty interesting experience. I didn't know there was anything like that just on the market. So I think for me, in my first experience using NuCalm, it felt like the first time in a while where I was able to fully calm down and rest after practice. Usually it's like a pretty quick transition time from class to athletics or athletics to class to homework, then to sleep. And so you don't really get a lot of time to kind of get your heart rate down, rest, recover, and then refocus to the next thing. It's kind of just like one quick transition moment. And for me, the first time using NuCalm, it was the first time I was able to slow myself down and take a second to rest and focus on my own recovery before moving on to the next activity of the day. The 3 NuCalm journeys I use are rescue, deep sleep, and focus. I think focus has just a great kind of capability for me personally to kind of block out distractions and just focus on my assignment, what I need to do to finish my assignment, and what I need to do to kind of perform to my best through my assignment, through my studies, whatever it is. And I've noticed that I'm able to kind of take in more information and remember more information through using focus. Deep sleep is another one that I use as well. As an athlete, it's hard when your body is like tired and kind of beat up at the end of the day. It's hard to get comfortable going to bed and just like finding the position in the bed, or even just the mental rest to not have a million thoughts at once so you can actually focus on going to sleep. For me, deep sleep just kind of allows my body to rest and my mind to calm down, slow down a little bit quicker, so I can just get the most kind of bang for my buck with my sleep. And I would say the last one would be just rescue for kind of short periods I have in the day where I may have an hour between classes, or from practice to class, depending on the day, I may have like 2 hours to go home, and I got to get some homework done in that 2 hours, but I also need to kind of find a way to rest. So it's just an easy, quick 20 to 30 minutes where I can lie down, take care of my body first, and reset myself. A lot of times you carry from one day to another just kind of lingering knocks, tensions, tightness, pains. After utilizing NuCalm in the right moments for my personal schedule, what I've noticed is some of those like kind of tightnesses and pains or whatever just kind of alleviate naturally through getting better rest. And I think mentally as well, I've allowed myself to take more of a mental break, because I think as a student athlete, when you're balancing such a busy just life schedule, taking a mental rest and taking a mental break is often the hardest thing to do. A rest and a break is more so slowing down instead of actually coming to a complete stop and resting and breaking. And for me, that's kind of been a trend my entire life. But with NuCalm, instead of just slowing down, I can fully come to a stop and find a resting point. NuCalm has helped me with stress and anxiety through essentially just being able to process things. As a student athlete, you get kind of caught in this notion that, you put your head in the ground and you put your nose in the dirt and you work through things. And if you feel something that's stress or anxiety or fear or even pain, it's just another thing to work through, and you don't really get a chance to process it. But with NuCalm allowing me to kind of slow down and catch myself in resting moments, I'm able to process those things, and they don't become the entire moment. They don't overwhelm me, but I may feel a fear or anxiety or stress from time to time, and that's normal, but it doesn't become the moment. I can sit through it, process it, and then on the downslope of it, passing through my body and passing through my mind, I'm able to proceed again with a clear head. NuCalm has helped me a lot in my academics. I'm a lot of it through reading and kind of soaking up material. I'm not the best at reading, I will say, and so like reading a lot of different pages. Sometimes for a lot of my classes, I have like 30 to 60 pages a night for just one class of a reading assignment, and I got to take notes on it and be able to speak about it the next day in class. So for me, those assignments are difficult, but with having focus on, I can focus on the lines and I won't get as distracted with noises or background things that are going on or just thoughts running through my head. I'll just be able to focus on the literature and soak in the information that I need to. And I've been able to soak up more information through just reading or just doing assignments, taking notes, than I would say my normal capability when I'm not using it. So it allows me to kind of just withhold more information, retain that information over a longer period of time, and just efficiency in reading, writing, taking notes, doing assignments, all those things. So Whoop essentially just tracks a bunch of different personal data. It tracks sleep, activities, strain activities, so basically anything physical or workout-wise that I do during the day, it tracks that. Basically every sleep metric I would need to know that is kind of gonna give me one qualitative number and a percentage of like how good my sleep was compared to what sleep I needed on the night. NuCalm has affected my Whoop score on a lot of times with my sleep recovery. On nights where I would use deep sleep, I can see that I'm sleeping for actually longer periods of time. So one problem that I face at night is I'll just wake up a lot. I have a lot of wake events, and just the time that I spend awake is almost like an hour to an hour and a half at night. But when I'm using NuCalm Deep Sleep, that number goes down significantly to like 20, 30 minutes max maybe. So I'm able to stay asleep longer, have less waking events, and my heart rate is able to just stay lower while I'm sleeping. So that just allows me to rest longer through the night. What I've noticed in the team, from a team dynamic after using NuCalm and more guys start to use it consistently in their day, is just a lot of less irritability. Irritability and tension and stress can feel pretty high to a lot of guys. Since the implementation of NuCalm, I've seen a lot of guys less irritable, and that's allowed them to gel with the team better, just more effectively, be more cohesive with the team, categorize their thoughts better. They're able to communicate more effectively to their guys, so instead of yelling or getting heated in a moment, maybe they're able to calm the situation down and use communicative techniques quickly and effectively to kind of solve problems easier on the field. I would describe NuCalm in one sentence as an effective tool that you can utilize daily based on your personal schedule to optimize both psychological and physiological performance. I would just say like NuCalm is wonderful tied to sports, but also what I've noticed in my life personally is like NuCalm can be a tool for a bunch of different things. So if I'm dealing with stressors that are off the field, maybe like things back home or relationship issues, things like that, NuCalm can be a tool to also help settle stress and anxiety or fear, just overall like inabilities to rest properly in almost every life area that I've tried to use it with. So I think NuCalm is wonderful, and it's been a great tool to use academically and athletically, but it's also something that I definitely intend to use in a lot of different life areas that are just as important.